But I'm sure everyone can hear me, right? I'm sure everyone can hear me. I'm sure everyone can hear me. And also, can you see my screen before I move on? Can everyone see my screen? Can everyone see my screen before I move on, please? Can everyone see my screen before I move on? All right. That's good. All right. So now, today we'll be doing, first of all, a relative cell reference. What do we call a relative cell reference? Relative cell reference is when, okay, we have a chart for that. Zoom it, okay. All right. Now, is it preferable like this? Can you all see my screen better this way? Can you all see my screen better this way? Can everyone see my screen better this way? All right, so let's move on. A relative cell reference is not much of a thing. It's just we knowing our cell. It is we knowing our cell reference. Anywhere we have our, just for instance, where my mouse is now, if we should look at this very place, we are having G theory. What it actually means is we are on column D, which is this one. We are on column D and we are on row theory, which is this one. So for instance, now we select this one, F5, meaning we are on column F, row 5. This is what we call a relative cell reference. What is relating our cells together, which is column F and row 5. So now column F and row 5. This is what we call a relative cell reference. What is relating our cells together? So now this is what is called a relative cell reference. What we use to relate our cell, what we use to identify our cell anytime we are working on a data set or anytime we are working on Excel. So for instance, you just select anything now. So just see you're in column what's column M, which is this one, this column M, and then we select cell, we are on what 5. So for instance, now anytime we do equals to, okay, let me just do this. Right. So now equals to this plus this. So now what this one actually means is we selected column E, row 3. We selected column E, this E3 here. What it actually means is we selected column E, row 3. This is a relative cell reference. We are using it to identify our cell. So we selected column E, row 3, plus what is under column F, row 3, same as this also, column F, row 3. So now when you tap on enter, you can see we are having 91. So now we added what is on column E, row 3, and column F, row 3. So for instance, now if we should have another one now, let's say now, and you want to add up everything together, what do you do? Equals to this, which is column G5, column G, row 5, which is G5, column G, row 5, plus this. Now, column H, row 5, column H, row 5. This is what this H5 means. Now, plus this again. Now, this is what's called column G, which is this one, column G, row 6, for this one here, column G, row 6, plus this. Now, column H, row 6, column H, and row 6. That was it. We tap on enter, and we have our total. That's the relative cell reference. Do we all understand relative cell reference? Sure, yeah. Do we all understand relative cell reference now, or I take it again? Am I communicating? Should I take it again, or we all understand relative cell reference? All right. So a relative cell reference is what we use to identify our cell. A relative cell reference is what we use to identify our cell. So now, for instance, I come here now, equals to this, which is column G. We are selecting column G row 5. That's what this G5 is all about. Column G row 5. Now, plus this one, column H row 6. Column H, which is this one, and row 6. Column H row 6. I tap on enter. That's our total. Do we now understand? Do we now understand this one now? Okay. What's the question?
Okay. Hello.
What's the question,
Hello.
please?
Good evening. Please.
Hello?
Yeah, please, with respect to the descent, we're talking of
If you are
you're
talking, I
talking
can't
about
hear you. If you are saying something, I can't hear you.
I'm saying hello? Hello? Hello?
So I'll be have to mute you now because I can't hear what you're saying. So now, do we all understand relative cell reference before we move on to mixed cell reference? Let's do this. Do we all understand now? Do we all understand relative cell reference before we move on to absolute cell reference? All right, good. So now moving on, we are going to our absolute cell reference. So equals to so now we are going to be doing what we call mixed cell reference now. Mixed. Okay, let me just go to absolute cell reference. When we are done with absolute cell reference, we work on mixed cell reference. So absolute cell reference, it's also what it actually means is you are locking both your cell, your row and your column. You are making your row and your column stagnant. Absolute cell reference, you are making your row and your column stagnant. So meaning whenever you move your formula to anywhere, it's still going to remain on that very thing you are locking. That's what we call absolute cell reference. You are making your row and your column stagnant. So now, for instance, we have this, which is this plus 44. I will tap on enter and I do a drop down. So now, if you should notice from here to from this 51 down to 78, we are having the same thing. We are having the same thing, but it's only this one that is affected. It is only this one that is affected. So now, if you should look at this very place here, this formula bar here, if you should look at this formula bar, let me try to if you look at this formula bar, you can see we are having column C, row 6. So now this column C and this row 6. We have column C and row 6. So we added column C and row 6 with column F, row 4, which is this 44. So now we added column C, row 6 to column F, row 4. So now if we should move down to this 51, we added column C7 with column F5. Now if we should check this F5, we can see it is empty. It is empty. We don't have anything there. Meaning if I should tap on this place now, you can see it is coming down. As I am dropping down the formula, it is coming down with it. You can see. And if I should come here again, you can see it is also moving down. So for instance, if I should add a number here, you can just what it's going to affect 51. This 51 here, it's going to affect it. Watch. You can see it is now working. You can see that affected this 51. So now, but we don't want to do something like that. We want everything to be added to just 1 to 5. We want everything to add up to just 44 only. So how do we do that? When you do either your F or your 4. So now what this one means is, if how do you lock your cell and how do you lock your row and your column? So what do we do is our dollar sign, which is here and here. So now meaning this place we are having this dollar sign in front of F and this dollar sign in front of 4. Meaning anywhere you see a dollar sign in front of anything, you are locking that specific place. So now, for instance, now if we have dollar sign just in front of F and we don't have anything in front of 4, so what that one actually means is we've locked the column and we unlocked the row. We locked the column and we unlocked the row. But now this one we're doing now is absolute cell reference. We are locking both the column and the row together. We are locking both the column and the row together. So when I tap on enter and I drop down the formula again, you can see everything will pop automatically. Here I should come here. Everything is still under column F row 4. So meaning if I should even move it like this, you can see it's still under column F row 4. That's what we are adding together on one of this particular place. So now that's what absolute cell reference is. So we're going to use absolute cell reference for different things also. If time permits, we are going to use absolute cell reference for different things also. So now, as I was saying, locking your column and locking your row is what we call absolute cell reference. There are times where you want to work on a data set, but you don't want it to move when you are moving the column, but you want it to move by row. Then we call that one our mixed cell reference. What mixed cell reference means? We are locking either the column and we are unlocking the row, or we lock the column, we unlock the row, or we lock the row, we unlock the column. Do you understand that? Okay, absolute cell reference. Absolute cell reference means you are locking your column and you are locking your row. In another word, you are making both your column and your row stagnant in one position, no matter how long you move it. You are making your row and your column stagnant in just one single position. No matter how long, no matter where you drop it, where you move it, you are making it stagnant. So it's not going to move anyway. That's what we call absolute cell reference. It is not going to move anywhere, no matter how you move. It's still going to remain at one particular place. That we call absolute cell reference. So now a mixed cell reference means you are locking either your column and you are unlocking your row, or you are locking your row and you are unlocking your column. That will call a mixed cell reference. A mixed cell reference. So now let's put that into action. Let's put that into action. So now, for instance, now we have 1, 2, 3. Then I'll move it down. Sorry. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we want to use this to get our multiplication table. So now we want to use it to get our multiplication table. So now we have 1, 2, 3. That's it, right? So now, what do? You know, we are adding both this one and this one together. So now equals to this. We are locking this times this. So now, I don't know if anyone can actually answer this. Like, what do you feel we are going to lock on these aspects? What do you feel we are going to unlock on these aspects? If anyone wants to try, just signify by raising up your hand. So I'll reach you and you tell me what I can do. Let's just give it a trial. What are we going to lock on this B5, which is column B5, and on this column C4? What do you feel we are going to lock And what do you feel we are going to do? So I'm locking the rule for which one, Mr. Steve? I am locking the rule for which one? Is it for B5 or for C4? Which one am I locking the rule for? Which one am I locking the rule for? Mr. Steve? I'm sure I'm not having only Mr. Steve in the class. I want everyone to participate in this. So I want everyone idea. So Mr. Ben, up to you.
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me? Evening, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Ben, I can hear you.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Column B, that B5, you lock only the B. You lock, that is the dollar sign will be in front of B.
Okay. What about C4?
And then C4 there, you put dollar sign in front of 4. Like yes, between C and yes. That is my suggestion.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ben. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
So now, class, do we all support Mr. Ben in everything what he said? Do we support Mr. Ben? We are going to give it a try with what he did. We are going to give it a try. We are going to give it, okay? We are going to give it a try. Do we all support what Mr. Ben said? I want the class to say something before I give it a go. Do we all support what Mr. Ben said? Do we support what Mr. Ben said? Before I move on, do we support what Mr. Ben said? Come on, let this class be a lively class now. Do we all support what Mr. Ben said? I will take that as a yes, since everyone is not saying anything. I'll take that. So, Mr. Ben, let's give what's just trial a go. So now we are having 1, let's drag it to 12. Okay, now we are having 1 to 12. And now 1 to 12. Let's now drag it. Yeah. So, Mr. Ben, should I release it? Mr. Ben, should I release it? Are you sure? Should I release it? Mr. Ben, should I release it? Okay. Let's see what's going to happen. All right. So, Mr. Ben, you are correct. And I love that. I love the suggestion you made. I really love that, Mr. Ben. I love that. Okay, now what Mr. Ben actually did, he did a mixed cell reference. This is a multiplication table. And when you want to do a multiplication table, you use your mixed cell reference. You can never use an absolute cell reference for a multiplication table. So you use a mixed cell reference, meaning you lock either your column, you unlock your row, you lock your row and you unlock your column. That's what we call a mixed cell reference. So now I did a little bit of example, meaning I just did 1 to 12, 1 to 12, 1 to 12 from column C down to column from column C down to column N, and 1 to 5 from under column B from row 5 down to 16. So now I told him, I said anyone in the house can just make a suggestion on how we can make this work. And Mr. Ben actually tried his best and he gave it a shot and it worked. That's good. I am actually impressed in you, Mr. Ben. That's really nice. So now, let me do another one again. So now from here, this, thanks, this. So now, can anyone tell me what I am going to lock, what I'm going to lock? Can anyone in the house tell me what I am going to lock and what I'm going to lock? Can anyone tell me what I am going to lock and what I'm going to unlock? Anyone in the house? Can anyone tell what I am going to lock and what I'm going to unlock? Anyone there? Come on, I want this class to be an interactive class. I am having 7 participants in the class. Let's be an interactive class. Let's not be only talking. I want an interactive class. That's why I'm asking questions. So it will be like I'm just talking. I'm not giving room for my student to talk. So now, what's the suggestion? Anyone? Let anyone make suggestion. So column C and row 5. So now which one am I locking? I am locking column C. Okay. I am locking column C and I'm locking row 5. Do everyone support what he said? Do everyone support what he said? Does everyone support what he said? Does everyone support what Mr. Muhyiddin said? Like his suggestion? Should I go on with his suggestion? Come on, I want everyone to say something in the chat. Type if you want to say something, just signify by raising your hand. I will unmute you, you folk. All right, I should go on. Okay. All right, I am getting one. So now let's see what it's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen if I should drag it down to 12. So now you can see I'm having just one. So I'm just adding one. Does anyone want to try again? Mr. Muhyiddin, your suggestion was not correct. So anyone wants to try? Anyone else wants to try? Anyone wants to try? What am I going to lock? What am I going to unlock? What am I going to lock? What am I going to unlock? Anyone wants to try? What am I? Okay, Madam Felicia. All right, that's good. Coming for you. All right. Up to you, Madam Felicia.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Madam Felicia.
Yeah, please, I think you are supposed to lock first 4.
I'm going to lock.
The dollar sign have to be in front of the 4.
Okay.
Yeah, then it has to be in front of the B5.
Okay. But wait, why
Yes.
is it different from the first one? Why is it not the same thing? Can you explain that to me, Madam Felicia? Why is it different from and why is it not the same thing?
Is it? It's not the same thing.
It is the same thing, but the first one we locked was different from what we are locking now. Why is it like that?
It's because of the rows and the columns. So
All right.
we are locking the columns, sir.
All right. So in the very first one we did, I selected B5 first and I selected C4 second. So now if it's in that aspect, I'll be locking, the column for B and I'll be locking the row for C4. So now this one I'm selecting C4 first and I'm selecting B5 second. So obviously it's still the same thing, but other way around. I am looking for B5. I will lock the column for B5 and I will unlock the column for C while lock the row for C4. So that's enter and let's see what's gonna happen with Felicia, which was a question. So now from there, I drag it down to this place. All right. So Felicia, that's good. I drop it down. And voila, we get our correct answer. You all understand mixer reference now? You will understand mixer reference. You will understand mixer reference. You will understand mixer reference now. If there's something you don't understand, just let me know. You don't understand Mr. Steve? Okay, which one don't you understand, Mr. Steve? Which one don't you understand? Which one do you not understand? Mr. Ben, do you understand? You should, Mr. Ben. You and Madam Felicia should. Like, your suggestion was correct, so you should understand mixer reference. So absolute reference, just locking your column and your row. You don't want it to move either both left, right, upper, lower, anywhere. You don't want it to go anywhere. So now, Mr. Steve, which one don't you understand again? So I take it again. Which one don't you understand? So I come again and I take it. Which one don't you understand? Mr. Steve, I'm waiting for you to say something. Mr. Steve, are you there? Okay, which one should I do a recap for? Is it for everything or just mixed cell reference or row? Absolute cell reference. Which one should I do a recap for, Mr. Steve? Which one should I do a recap for? Mr. Steve, you're not saying anything. Mr. Steve, are you there? All right, I will take that as a no. Mr. Steve is not there. Okay, mixed cell reference. All right, good. What mixed cell reference means is mixed cell reference is you are adding both absolute cell reference and a relative cell reference. Meaning, if you lock your column, you are going to unlock your row. And if you unlock your row, you're going to lock your column. So now, for instance, now this multiplication table that we did. So now, if we should look at this place very well, we are having B5. This is our B5 here. So now this B5, meaning as we are moving it down to 12, we don't want the column to move. We don't want the column to move all around. We really want it to stay in one place. We want it to just stay in one place. So that's why we want the column stagnant. That's the reason why we lock our column. That's why the dollar sign is in front, right in front of B5. So now for C4, we want the column to move. Anytime we take it left, anytime we take it right, we want the column to move. But we don't want the row to move. We want the row to be stagnant. That's why we lock our C4. That's why we lock our C dollar sign 4. That's why we lock that. And anytime we tap on enter. Now, if you look at this place here, you can see the row is moving up and down, and the one for column is also moving. But their rows are not moving, and the other column is not moving. So that's what we call a mixed cell reference. Do we all understand now? Do we all understand? Do we all understand now? All right, so that's good. All right, so that will be all for today's class. So when next we meet again, hopefully if I'll be taking you, we are going to be doing, I don't know, hopefully if I'll be taking you in the next meeting, I'll be taking another Excel formula. So now today we did a relative cell reference, an absolute cell reference, and a mixed cell reference. So before I go, anyone in the house, can anyone explain the meaning of absolute cell reference? Signify by raising up your hand. Even though you can explain absolute cell reference, please signify by raising up your hand. Please signify by raising up your hand if you can explain absolute cell reference, relative cell reference, and mixed cell reference. Please signify by raising up your hand, please. Anyone there? Can anyone explain that? Can anyone explain that? Oh, okay, Mr. Ben.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ben.
Sir, what I understand by absolute cell reference is that when you are dealing with data on a spreadsheet, now maybe you want a particular column,
Okay.
even though you have other, but you want, maybe you have examination score on a particular column,
Okay.
and then you decide to add a particular bonus to each student on that column.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Okay.
you will lock that cell so that each number, any score that is on that column, even though there are 1 million, they will come and add to that particular cell alone, that particular number on that, maybe that column alone. They will not add, maybe they will not add including even the next one. It's only on that particular cell. Each score of that student will add on that particular bonus. I do not accede to any other one. So
Mr. Ben,
you will lock
how I
that column.
how I wish I can send you 1 million naira now with this explanation.
Thank you, sir.
How I wish I can. I love the explanation so much.
Thank you, sir.
I love the explanation so much. So that's for absolute source reference. That's good. So anyone in the house, anyone can take a relative, who can explain relative source reference. Relative is very simple. Relative is very simple. Everything is even simple. Everything are very, very simple. Anyone in the house? Madam Felicia, what about you? Madam Felicia, don't want to say anything? Madam Felicia, don't want to say anything? Okay. So a relative source reference, like I said, is you knowing your cell, how your cells are related with each other. So anytime you are selecting any column, you know you are selecting the column and the row you are selecting. That we call a relative source reference. And what we call a mixed source reference is the mixture of both absolute source reference and the relative source reference. So meaning you either lock your column, you lock your row, or you lock your column, you unlock your column and you lock your row. That what we call a mixer reference. I'm sure everyone understands that now. I'm sure we all understand now. I'm sure we all understand. All right, I'll take that as a yes. I'll take that as a yes. So with that, our Excel essentials for tonight will be coming to an end. And I look forward in taking the class again, if possible. You all have a wonderful night and a lovely week ahead. And you guys have a wonderful Sunday to yourself tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, sorry. You guys have a wonderful weekend to yourself. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend to your satisfaction. And also, I wish all of you a good night's rest. So today's class will be coming to an end now. And thank you everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. So good night to you all.